Okay, that was a very wonderful report there by NT Abuja. Thank you, Uri. It is on Celebrating Nigerians in Diaspora. And in the spirit of celebration, our next guest is someone who is no stranger to celebration, as he himself is a celebrated Nigerian. He's an automobile designer who has worked for several years in the United States of America. He worked with a company in America called General Motors before he was appointed the Director General of the National Automotive Design and Development Council in 2017. Sir, you're welcome to the Weekend Deal Studios.
Thank you.
Okay. So, sir, yesterday our focus was on the brain drain, Nigerians leaving the country to other shores. But today we are shifting the gear to celebrating Nigerians who have left and who are making us proud. And I am honored to be with you because, sir, you're one of them. How did your journey begin?
Yes, well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. My journey began a very long time ago when I was very young. I've always had the passion for drawing and for cars. At home, both my two brothers and our dad were very much into cars. So it was a family crazy about cars. And I read about them, in magazines. When a really nice car was shown in a movie, it's like, wow, look at that, a car. So I decided to put my two passions together, the passion for cars and the passion for drawing, to become an automotive designer. And I got tremendous support from my family. They gave me all the support that I needed to keep developing my talents in terms of drawing. So by the time I had completed secondary school, FGC Sokoto, I was about to study architecture at ABU. I started that a little bit. I didn't like being there. I thought I needed to maybe move to a polytechnic, and people were saying, why you have been admitted to a university
and you want to go to a polytechnic?
It's usually the other way around.
Yes.
But I wanted to get into something very practical and hands-on. So I moved to Bryn Kebbi Polytechnic and did a national diploma in architecture. But my passion for automotive design was still there. I applied to the College for Creative Studies in Michigan and got admitted. Went there in the middle of 1 January and started my program. And I graduated as an automotive designer after 4 years of university, college. And when I graduated, I was actually making plans to come back to Nigeria, to the country that I love so much. Because like I say, I left Nigeria not to get away from it. I left Nigeria so that I could better myself and have the capability to come back home and add value to the nation. So when I graduated, I was actually making plans to come back to Nigeria when General Motors asked me to stay behind. And
American Motors?
General Motors.
General Motors, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So they offered me a job. I thought it was a good opportunity to stay behind, get some experience before I came back to Nigeria. And I worked both in the United States at the design headquarters in Michigan and also in Germany, because General Motors has a number of divisions and partnerships around the world. And they had, they owned at that time the company Opel in Germany. So I was there for about 2 years on international assignment. And I went back to the United States and designed a number of vehicles, including the Pontiac G6.
Yeah, Pontiac G6. Yeah, I heard about that.
Yes, which when it came out set a new direction for Pontiac. Pontiac was the division of GM that had to do with sports and young drivers. But over the years, the design of those vehicles had become too cumbersome, just too busy, and they were looking very dated. So General Motors needed a brand new direction for that division, and the G6 offered that. It was very contemporary. It competed with the best around the world. It was very clean and yet very dynamic and strong. So it pointed that division in a new direction, which they continued to build on. And then the other vehicle that I also had the opportunity to design while at GM was the Chevrolet Volt electric car. And I'm very honored to have had the opportunity to design that vehicle, because it all started as a competition between many designers in GM. There were over 200 entries. Those 200 entries were narrowed down to 5 entries, and then again narrowed down to just one winner, which I was very honored to be mine.
I'm so delighted. Well, tell me, how did they find you in school? Because I would just want to know the beginnings for people who are watching, so that they get it right. How did they find you in school? You said after graduation, we are going to come back to Nigeria, and but how did it start? How did they catch you in school?
Yes, in automotive design, is all about building yourself to be as good as you can. Yes, when you graduate, you get a certificate and a degree showing that you have gone through those 4 years. But the companies were never interested in that. They were interested in how good is this designer going to be if we hire him or her. So over the years, they come to the schools. They sort of notice who's doing what, who's good at what, and then by the time you graduate, you have another big show where you put up your main design thesis. You talk about it to all the different companies as they come one after another. So then after that, they go back and then they choose the people that they want to hire. So that's what happened. And when I graduated, I didn't know that they had come and made that decision on some of the things that I had shown. So they had seen my work over the years, and then they also had seen my design thesis that I had done after those 4 years.
You're back home now, and looking back, and all your experience that you've garnered over the years, do you think if you were in Nigeria would have attained the success that you have? Do you think? Because Nigerians go abroad and they become superstars. Why? What happens? They go there, they succeed, they are here. We hardly hear them. Then, using your personal experience, what do you think?
Yes, well, let's look at life in general and success. There's about over 7 billion people on the planet, and every person is special. Every one of us, these 7 billion humans, is special. Some people get to know what that speciality is and they develop it. For some, it takes a little bit longer. There are places around the world where more effort is put into really bringing out the best in more and more people. So I think the difference between Nigeria and the US or Germany is that in those other places, there are more people who have realized what they can do and have synergized to make it happen. So achieving results is made easier when you're around other people who believe, yes, it could be done. In Nigeria, it's a little bit harder because a lot of people don't know what they have. I keep saying, okay, we live in Abuja, and a lot of us here, accomplished, we know what we're doing, we're professionals, a lot of people, but then you have a lot of other Nigerians in very small villages, very small places, who still don't yet know what they should do. So the more a nation empowers its people, the easier it is for an individual in those countries to realize his or her dream. Okay,
looking back, the environment, the enabling environment, did it contribute to your success?
Yes, it did. It did. And I think I'm very happy to say that for me, the enabling environment actually started here in Nigeria. I grew up in Sokoto, but my mind was beyond Sokoto, it was beyond Nigeria, because our dad had a small library at home with a lot of books and encyclopedia. And I would lose myself there for hours reading about many different places and many different things. So I grew up here, but my immediate environment was very unlike a lot of other environments in the country. So I took advantage of that, I leveraged that, and then when I got the opportunity to study overseas, I also got another environment that helped me and gave me the opportunity to develop myself. So anything could be done, even in Nigeria. And I think between the time I left to go to the US and now, things have changed for the better. There have been a lot of improvements in Nigeria. Generally, a lot of conversations in the country here are negative, but there are positive narrations that need to be told. Let's concentrate on those positives. it doesn't make much use. Yes, we have problems. Everybody has a problem. Even in the middle of Paris, there are problems. But let's stop dwelling on those problems and concentrate or put more energy into the positives. And I think that way we'll have more and more successes in the country.
We have a lot of Nigerians in the diaspora, and one of the challenges that we don't know what to come home to invest in. With something like this going on, what are you doing to attract them to say, this is something you can invest, being someone in the diaspora yourself before? Just something, are you relating with Nigerians there to say, come back home, let's do this together?
That is something that really needs to have more energy put into it. We've started doing that. We intend to do even more of that. What we intend to do also is engage them. We're always ready and willing to advise anyone who wants to come back to Nigeria and invest. I work for the government, but my advice would always be to really look at the private sector, because that is where the real opportunity is. If you're in the private sector, you're your own boss. You can go as high as you want. You can scale up your company, God willing, as big as it can be. There's tremendous opportunities in Nigeria. Our agency's responsibility, actually, at the end of the day, is how do we empower the private sector to add value in the automotive sector. So a very strong advantage that Nigerians in the diaspora have is that they live in places where they can be bridges between those technologies and advances there and the opportunities in Nigeria. So I would continue to advise that they really strongly look at Nigeria, not necessarily to pack up your bags and come back and say that's it, but to see how you could leverage what you have there with opportunities here, because it's Nigeria. This is a time to really be part of what is happening. If we were already developed like other places, then everything would be saturated. There would be no new opportunities. But now is a time for people to come in and be part of this.
Okay, I'm going to go back a bit. When you were asked to come back to Nigeria, tell me, what were your first thoughts? Just tell me. Give it to me straight. Don't. What came to your mind the first time they told you you're coming back to Nigeria?
Yes. Well, two things came to my mind, and they were both very strong. There were two competing, thoughts. The first was, okay, wow. Now, I've been working with GM for so long. Things are going good. I thank God. I don't have to leave this company. I can stay there until I retire and get the opportunity to design even more cars. On the one hand. On the other hand is, okay, now I'm from Nigeria. I know the challenges faced in Nigeria. I know what could be done in Nigeria. I know the value you could add and make the lives of people better. So those are the two things I balanced. But I chose to come back.
There was no fear.
No.
I want to
no fear.
There was no fear.
No fear to come back to Nigeria.
Okay, that's good.
Yes.
Okay, so that's good. And then, when are we going to see another car designed by you?
Well, I've designed two of them now, and we're in the process of developing them. Engineering development of the vehicle takes a little bit of time, but we've started doing that. We hope that very soon we'll go public with what we have. But because of confidentiality reasons, when you have a design, you have to take it to a certain stage before you let the world know what it is. But we have there are two vehicles that I've designed for Nigeria, and the council is working to develop them in collaboration with sectoral experts and other stakeholders, both within and outside the country.
Okay. Would you want your son or your child to study in Nigeria and do everything here? Okay, I'm sure the situation is already different. So I was gonna get you on that, but given what you see, would you do that? Let's say you had to go through that route.
When I was growing up, like I mentioned, I had a lot of support from home, my parents and my siblings, and whatever I had chosen to do, they supported me, and I intend to do the same thing. I think it's up to each child, each young man or young lady, to really understand what they're best at, and then be helped to see where they can go to actually achieve that dream. So I keep saying no one must be forced into going into this or doing that, because if you're forced into something, you don't have the passion for it, and when you don't have a passion for something, you never put in your best.
In the diaspora, there are a lot of Nigerians doing well.
Mm.
Did you meet any of them, like Nigerians who are also doing as well as you are? So let's mention some few and celebrate them. We are celebrating today, you alongside other Nigerians. So tell us about.
I've met really many Nigerians.
Okay, who are doing well.
Who are doing excellently and making us proud. There's really something about the Nigerian spirit. It's a known fact that wherever you go, there are Nigerians there, and they're making huge contributions to those local economies. I've always believed there's something special about us, Nigerians. We tend to forget it sometimes, but there is something special about us. There is something special about this country. Even while I was in the U.S., when you discuss with people who know well about Nigeria and other places, and they say, okay, yes, there's a lot of these negative stories coming out, but even those who aren't Nigerians, so people from other countries that are here or that have come into Nigeria for business and other thing, they find it hard to leave and go back to their own countries. So there's something here that is definitely magical that I think we need to hold on to. The challenge, I think, is there's a lot of these negative stories everywhere that cloud the reality. And the more negative stories there are, the more people believe, oh, that's all that's happening, and the other positive aspect loses energy. So let's please begin to put more effort on those positive stories, bring them up, and have them overshadow the negative stories.
Okay, watching us now are so many young Nigerians who want you to talk to them, just inspire them, say something to them on the way to go. Say some words of motivation to them.
Yes. One must never give up, no matter what the challenges are. And everyone must know that we all, like I said earlier, have an inherent talent within us. Some people find out what it is earlier, some it takes a little bit longer. I advise not just young Nigerians, but their parents too and elders to help them identify what they're good at and help them support it. Never force them into any field. And if they choose something, don't try to talk them out of it. If you know and they know that is what they want to do. And for young Nigerians, I say, for the children of the rich, we have the children of the rich, we have the children of the not so rich. If you're the children of the rich, I advise you leverage your resources to better yourself and add value directly to Nigeria. If you're the children of not so rich, you can still leverage your capabilities and access and team up with people who will support you in achieving your aim. So I believe wherever you are, no matter what level of society you're at, you can add value and better yourself.
Oh, it's been so nice speaking with you. I've learned so much. I wish we can go on and on and on because I have so many other questions to ask you, but we have to go. Thank you so much, Mr. Jelani Aliyu. Nigerians who have watched them show are really inspired. We'll be talking to another celebrated Nigeria who we'll be looking forward to because something special will soon be coming from his tables of design. We will end it here now, but we'll go on a break. Our show will continue.